Hello, how are you today? Oh, it's Thomas English. Hello, how are you doing, my friend? Hope everything's going well for you. Right, just gonna wait for more, for more people to turn up. Hello, Delta. Hope you're having a good day. You say doctor? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. If I was a doctor, I would not be an English teacher, that's for sure. I'll probably be working inside a hospital if I was a doctor. Hello, how are you today? Sorry, Delta says hi there. You should have gone with a hello there.
What was that?
What? I'm going live. Sorry. Yeah, I was just about to say, instead of saying hi there, you should have gone with the with the Star Wars phrase, hello there. And then I would have responded, General Kenobi. Right, so today we're going to be looking into, for business English, is what to do for a CV or a resume. Now, in the UK, we usually call a resume a CV, but in America, they usually say CV. So no hi, great. Wait. So no hi. Great, thanks. No, I'm just saying, because you put hi there, but if you went hello there, I would have gone into like a Star Wars phrase.
Boom!
Okay, sorry, that's just my son. Sorry, Thomas English says, I mean, you are professor in English. Well, yeah, I guess you could say that. Okay, hello, Twins English School. So we're going to be looking into CVs. Right, let me just move my camera down here. Right, so I'm definitely aware that a lot of people, they've actually gone into many jobs, and I know that in your countries you already have a system to do CVs and a resume. But when it comes to doing a CV in English, whether you're applying for a job in the UK or whether you're applying for a job over in the US, there's going to be certain things that you can put and not put when it comes to your CV. And now I actually have a list, as you can see right there on the left-hand side of the screen. Here are some things that you need to put on your CV. But of course, it's like I said, in your country you probably have the same thing, but maybe for certain companies and for certain jobs, there's some information you can put down. There's some information that you should not put down. So we're going to go over a quick thing. Oh, by the way, this lesson is going to be a quick one because talking about CVs is very short and simple. So this one should be over very, very quickly. But if anyone has any questions or any comments, feel free to write it down. Just in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. So let's get started. Now, when it comes to your CV and your resume, the first thing you have to focus on is the first one up here is your name. Obviously, that's pretty much a guarantee. Obviously, it's up to you whether you want to put your full name or just say Richard Halligan, or you can say Richard Michael Halligan, or you want to say the full thing. It's up to you. Now, of course, in most countries, of course, if you're from another country and if your name has a particular spelling or a particular way of pronunciation, then it's up to you how you want to put it. But try and keep your name as simple as possible, because when you do go for the job interview, and if someone does have problems pronouncing your name, obviously they can ask you, how do I pronounce your name? You can tell them. If you do have a difficult name, most of the time people might put a nickname down, but when it comes to CV, always put down your normal name. Now, originally, back in the day when I was a teenager, when I was applying for jobs, you had to put your address down so they know, so they knew how to contact you. So if they needed to contact you by mail, or if they needed to send any certain paperwork or documents to your house, they had this as well. But also to put it down into their records as well, or maybe down into their database to say where you live. Because one of the most important things when you are going for a job, you have to be truthful and honest. You can't lie. I know some people do lie, but it's okay. But yeah, so you have to put down your address. Very simple. But of course, nowadays, everyone prefers to not give addresses, but some people prefer to give an email address to have all their documents sent, which is much easier as well. It's the same when it comes to contact details. Now, normally with the contact details, When I was a teenager, and for some of you, if you were a teenager or a young adult, you would normally put down your mobile number and you put down a house number. So so if anybody wanted to contact you in case of emergencies, or to say to you, congratulations, you have the job, or I'm sorry, but you didn't get past the interview stage, but we will keep your contacts down in case there is another opening. So it's always best to put down 2 contact numbers. Right, now let's get down to the serious business. The next part is your profile. Now, of course, when it comes to profile, this is when you need to tell people a bit about yourself. Not a full story or anything, just keep it something short and simple. So talk about, say, who you are, where you're from, maybe talk a little bit about your personality, which sometimes it does help as well. But to talk about what type of person you are. So you can say that you're hardworking, you are someone who likes a particular type of work. So let's say you're working in IT, construction, law, medicine, whatever this CV is going to, or whoever it's going to, it's always best to put down a little bit about yourself, so whoever's reading this has an idea of what type of person you are. Now, the next step, which is very important, which I know most of you guys already know about this, next is your employment history. So this gives you a chance to talk about your recent jobs or the amount of jobs that you've had before going into this next interview. Now, normally what most people do is that if you have a big list of different places where you went to known for jobs, put them down. But also, while you're doing that, you should also mention what your position was, and also what your responsibilities was. Now, when it comes to responsibilities, it's mainly talking about what things that you did. So let's say, for instance, if you work for a supermarket, you're one of the cashiers. So what was your responsibilities? Dealing with customers, dealing with products, dealing with any customer issues, dealing with returns, dealing with money. So those were your responsibilities. And sometimes you can even put down how you dealt with certain types of situations. But because this is a CV, you don't have to mention everything. Because when you go for the I can't say it now. Because when you do get called up to go for the can't say the I word interview, that's when you can actually start. That's when you can start to tell people about what you did and how you did things. One question. Delta says, is it necessary to mention everything or just the most important jobs you've had? Normally what I normally do, I said normally too many times. What people normally do is that they will maybe put down the last 2 or 3 jobs. You don't have to put every single job. Like you don't have, like, say for instance, when you was in high school and you had a part-time job, you don't have to mention that. You can mention when you actually went into full-time employment. So let's say you worked in a retail store while you were studying in university or college. It's up to you. You're going to put that. But my recommendation is to put down a job. To put down your previous employment when if it involves something that you're going for. So let's say IT, for instance. You worked in IT, admin, whatever. And you've worked in 2 different companies, you should mention those. Don't mention that you worked in a supermarket, because that doesn't help. It doesn't help. I mean, it may help to show that you've had some experience dealing with customers. That's fine. Only what's connected to what you're applying, or maybe. Yes, yeah. I mean, that's what I was pretty much just trying to say. So just stick to what it is that you were applying for. Okay. It's the same thing for me. Sorry, not for me, but it's the same thing if I was to say that I was studying medicine, right? I won't mention that I worked in a retail store. I won't mention that. I'll mention like I did voluntary work for a pharmacy, or maybe for a clinic. I went to maybe 1 or 2 hospitals. I was working there part-time or something. That's what you should mention. Okay. Next, now this one's very important, is your education history. This one's very important because obviously your employer needs to know if you are qualified to do the job needed. I mean, it's going to seem very, very odd if, let's say, that you weren't an A plus student, you kept getting Fs, but yet you get hired by NASA to become a rocket scientist or something. Yeah, that's not going to go down so well, is it? Or let's say, for instance, you never went to medical school and someone said, "All right, Richard, we want you to perform open heart surgery on this patient." Yeah, sure, no problem. I can do that. Oh my goodness, this person's going to die. It's like that. So, so always mention down your qualifications. Now, normally, people will put down what you got when you was in high school or secondary school. So, like for your in England we have GCSEs or GMVQs, which normally goes up to the A levels, and then you would mention what you got in college. Let's say mathematics, science, but only put down the grades which you feel are more important. You don't want to put a grade down to say, "Oh, I got an A for geography, and and I'm going to work for a hospital." No, if you were to say that if you want to say that you got like a passing grade for science in a biology, that's what you should put down. Okay, and also if you got into like a university or maybe some really top-notch college, you should mention those as well. And also any other facilities where you were able to continue your education as well. So let's say medical school, electronic school, things like that. Next, now this one you don't have to put this one down, but it's always nice to show something else about you, and that is your hobbies, things that you like to do in your free time. Now, don't mention everything, to say like, I like to play video games, I play football, or I go bike riding, I go rock climbing. No, just try and keep it short and simple. And also, you need to remember what type of job you're going for as well, because you don't want to go for a big job and say things like, I like to talk, I like hanging out with my friends, going to bars and nightclubs and getting completely hammered, getting drunk. No, that's not a good thing to put down on your CV. You can say that you're a very social person and you have a very active social life, but I would recommend that you put certain activities like playing football, doing sports, swimming, athletics, going to the cinema. That's always a good one. That's all. You like watching movies, which is good. You like listening to music. You can even mention that you are part of a band as well, because at least it shows that you got some sort of life outside of your workplace. Because one thing that you need to remember is work to live, not live to work. Okay, your work is there to help fund the things that you like to do. So that's the most important thing. Okay, yeah. So once again, when it comes to hobbies, keep it short and simple, and don't say like 100 things that you like to do, because eventually, if you do get the job, your employees, your boss, your supervisor, your manager, and your colleagues, they'll get to know things about you further down the line when you're working with them. And finally, one most important thing that you need to add on your CV and your resume is a reference. Yes, this one's very important. Now, if anyone's not sure what a reference means, a reference is when you ask someone in your previous job for a recommendation to say, to write something about you to your next job or to your next employer. But also, this is a way for your new employer to contact someone in your previous job to ask them about you. And they say, "Oh, what's this person like? Is he or she a good worker? Is he or she capable of doing the job?" Now, of course, I've actually put people's references down, but as far as I know, no one has actually ever had to use it. My goodness. Because they would have said that, "Oh yeah, Richard's a good worker, he's a bit short-tempered, but yeah, he's not a bad worker." Yeah, but most important thing is, if you are going to get a reference from someone in your previous job, always ask someone who you feel more comfortable with. So if you feel that you and your manager don't always get along, you can ask your supervisor or you can ask your team leader. There's always someone there who's actually prepared to do a reference for you. And if push comes to shove, if you feel one is not enough, you can always get a reference from another job as well that might be useful. So let's say you ask someone for a reference in the job that you have, but you feel like, I'm going to ask someone else. So you're going to contact someone from another job where you used to work and get a reference from them as well. It is usually common to maybe put down one or two, but you only just need one, and that's it. Well, so that's all the information which you need on how to do a CV or a resume. If there is any questions or any comments, feel free to mention. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. Let me just check down here, see if anyone has said anything else. No, it's just Delta. Okay. No other questions. Okay, that's no problem. If there are no other questions, it's no problem. But because like I said, this is a very simple one. I'm sorry. Delta says very clear. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome, Delta. So like I said, this was going to be a very short live lesson, very short and simple, something that you can always look back and just review again if there was anything that you might have missed as well. So let me just say thank you very much everyone for your time, and I hope you found this very useful. But don't worry, if there's anything you might have missed, I'm going to put this up on the live. Sorry, not on the live, on the on the post, so so anyone can watch this at any time. Well, once again, thank you very much everyone, and have a good day. Bye.